Last couple of days, we're up to $1,000 gold. The question is inflation in the air? Here to debate, Michael Pento. This is a Pento moment if there ever was one. Delta Global Advisors, senior market strategist, and the great CNBC reporter, Rick Santelli. Rick Santelli, I hear you're going soft. I hear you really think that the gold thing is just a big fluke.
Not a fluke, Larry. I don't dismiss the notion that gold technically looks like it wants to do better, or there's some traders out there that want to buy it. But I think if you want to read more into it regarding dire straits for any type of news in the next couple of days, inflation changed over the last 3 days, I don't think it's economic. I think it's just a commodity trade.
Oh, Rick, you're breaking my heart, and I'm not a gold bug, but you squished the heart of gold bugs all across the land. Don't you know that gold is rising because real interest rates are plummeting?
Oh, come on.
Look,
I agree with all that.
Hold on a second, Rick. If you looked at the ISM prices paid components
we
for
have a
manufacturing and non-manufacturing.
This is it. Hang on. Just pause for 1 minute. I know you're on a roll. I don't want to stop you, but you'll recover. The fact of the matter is the ISM reports prices paid have really, really surged. Now, what we've done here, though, we've taken the ISM services report out today. It was a good number, almost 50. The prices paid is jumping up to almost 65. Now, notice, in the last 6 months, the prices paid component has risen along with oil. So I want to ask you, Mr. Pento, is this just an oil thing, or is it a broader gold commodity easy money thing? Because I think that's news. We had ISM prices on the manufacturing, same thing. They're in the 60s. That came out of the blue.
Copper is up 80% this year. And there are 16 commodities in the CRB index. They're all rising. Is it just the fact that the dollar's down 13%, Rick? I mean, why don't you understand that inflation is a salient issue? And I will tell you this, Mr. Santelli, and I love you, by the way. I hate to argue with you because I'm a big fan. But I'll tell you this. Come December, oil, instead of being down 50%, will be up 100% year over year. And it's 40%, commodities are 40% of the CPI calculation. And the rate of inflation will be higher than the 10-year note. And what is Gentle Ben or Banana Ben going to do then?
You're preaching to the choir. Nobody thinks deficits are more important than I do. Inflation will show up and it'll surprise people. I agree with all that. But I'm a market detective, okay? What's changed in the last 3 days? If we're trying to look at gold activity in the last 3 days and draw conclusions on any one of the fronts that you brought up, it doesn't hold.
The ISM data came out yesterday and today.
What about the dollar? The dollar the last couple of days doing nothing.
You're comparing the dollar against a basket of 6 other flawed fiat currencies. Look at the dollar versus oil.
Look at a 3-day chart of gold. Look at a 3-day chart of gold.
If you're going to do a Phillips curve analysis like our friends at the Federal Reserve, you're going to be way late to take away the punch bowl.
It is
Nobody
interesting,
ever talks about the punch bowl more than me. The reality, though, is that everybody's looking at gold in the last 72 hours, and I contend it's a technical breakout. Reading all of that into it isn't real.
All right, Rick, let's put technical aside for a minute. It is interesting, though, that the prices paid numbers on these two ISMs are very important. They're predicting economic recovery. But the prices paid numbers all of a sudden jumped into the 60s. And it really is the last couple of days we got these new reports. And I want to ask you, Rick, it may be a long shot. What are the chances that with all this easy money from the Fed, and the Fed has, by the way, added another $100 billion to their balance sheet in the last couple of weeks, is it possible we are looking at an easy money, blowout, V-shaped recovery that no one is anticipating? Is that part of this gold catch-up message?
No. Sorry, not buying Mr.
How can you be so? Mike Pento, you tried. How
can
we be so sure?
Are you telling me that a recovery in the job market is the progenitor of inflation?
No.
You know better. Who cares if 100% of America is working? Is that inflation?
No, absolutely not. Inflation causes too much money chasing too few goods, and we devalue the currency. Okay, but I think that's part of the risk. I mean, the massive federal deficits, the easy money from the Fed hasn't stopped printing dollars.
No, they just increased the base by $100 billion.
It may be just now showing up in some of the data points.
Exactly.
I called it this morning an incipient inflation concern.
And I call it an insidious.
All right. Okay. So I'm just saying that could explain
if a 1% Fed funds rate in 2003, 2004 blew up the whole real estate market, what is 0% 0% for the rest of my lifetime, which I hope is a long
Rick
time.
Santelli, how can we be sure, on Pento's point, that a zero interest rate in 2009 won't have the same inflationary bubble, which would include gold, as it did 1% interest rate back in 2003?
I think it'll be worse. I think it'll be worse.
Then gold is behaving in a rational way.
Yes.
It's not behaving in a rational way, Larry, because a month ago or 3 weeks ago, gold wasn't the center of attention. It's the last 3 days. And I contend that all the relevant issues, I agree with our guests, and for the most part, other than the V recovery, agree with you. But to draw conclusions, why are you talking about gold? You're talking about it because of the last 3 days. And what I'm telling you is ETF shakeups, CFTC rulings, all of these things are shaking up into a market that probably had a lot of big shorts in it, and it's just a commodity move. Don't look at gold for fundamental revelations because you're going to be disappointed.
Gold thrives in negative real interest rates. They are
just
plummeting,
fundamental.
Rick.
It's not
the dollar has
anything
lost 13% of its value since March. That's a huge decrease in the value and the purchasing power of our country's
It's interesting. Just to put some information.
Has a negative future.
Just to put some information on this. Year to date, gold is up 12%. Okay, I know we've had a 3-week move. We never had much of a drop. We can put a long-term chart of gold up there, by the way.
Just put 1 week of the dollar, 1 week of gold, and 1 week of 30-year rates.
Expand your time.
You can put a long-term 5 or 6 year. Gold's been in a pretty strong pattern for many years.
And put a 10-year chart of the dollar.
Copper has doubled. The CRB is up 8%. Gold is up 12%. Crude oil is up 23%. I mean, in a sense, it's all marching together. Mike Pento, don't we have a global monetary boom?
China, look at the China PMI was through the roof too.
I mean, maybe there's a rejection of money and a move into gold, which could run this baby. We've seen this story before.
I think it goes to $1,200 by the end of the year.
$1,200.
Unless Bernanke raises rates, which I don't think. I think it's about a 1% chance.
He should start soon.
He should have started last year.
Snuggie. Rick Santelli, how high is gold? What's gold's next move, Rick Santelli?
The next big move in gold is going to be a sell-off after they get the last long in and the buy stops it over 1,000.
By the way, Rick Santelli, Treasury bonds are rallying down to 330. What's that all about?
Well, there you go. It's telling you that gold is really off on its own.
The bigger market is the currency market. It's much bigger than the bond market,
right.
And that's telling you that
the dollar is going down.
The
dollar pound, the dollar Swiss, nothing's moved the last 3 days. Not buying the gold story, but I will tell you, Larry.
10 years of
when's the sell-off? When's the sell-off in government bonds coming, Rick Santelli, that gets it to 4.5%?
Well, I think that it's just a horrible scenario that we are sending these horrible messages for fiscal irresponsibility, watching the debt grow, watching the issuance grow, and watching rates go down.
Their whole plan to pay for it is inflation, Rick.
Absolutely.
And you know it.
Absolutely.
So go buy yourself some gold, my friend.
In the last
and you know I love
3 days,
you, but I'm not angry with you. I love you, Rick.
Day traders aren't economists. They're day traders.
I got to tell you, fiscal nymphomania and easy money, man, that's spelled GOLD. Rick Santelli, thank you. You're great to stay with us. Michael Pento, this was a Pento moment if ever was one.